Hey folks, what's going on? It's Monday the 7th before the big election day here in America. And I just want to do an update. I want to start off by doing a little bit of shouting out because it takes me a long time to watch other music vinyl committee videos. It just takes me a long time. It's just the way I am. And Diana's latest contest for 400 subscriptions, I liked her idea so well that I've been watching all of the responses. They've been very interesting. I want to shout out some of the folks who I've never watched before that I have watched as a result. But the first shout out I'll do is to Brother Big Star 1000, who I hope your knee heals well. And I just caught up with Fred, and he continues to be such a scholar and a font of knowledge and enthusiasm for music and vinyl. If you don't know Big Star 1000, check him out. He is the deal. But some other folks who I watched for the first time, and like I said, the BC is absolutely a wonderful thing, and all kinds of personalities, all kinds of people with all kinds of interests are making videos. So I see here I have a few more to watch, and so I'll go ahead and shout all you people out that I'm looking here. Gorvo 31, I gotta watch yours, but Carm, you're a friend. Seas Breeze, I checked yours out, enjoyed it. Let's see, who else did I watch here? Prog Rock Tommy, John Bellamy, of course Dark Dub, good to see you, David. Martin Parrott, enjoyed your video very much. Excuse me. Cortese 69, and it just goes on. As I said, excuse me. Audiophile 777, So Dramatic, Sequoia Flame, Spinning Greek. The vinyl community really is diverse, and there's a lot of people involved. I'm happy to be one of them, and I'm just really also encouraged to see that people are being themselves. Some people are funny, some people are kind of dry, but everyone's being themselves. And I also like how some of you folks don't mind sharing a little bit about what's going on with you, as well as talking records. It's encouraging that people just own this, okay? And a lot of good people here, a lot of good people. I need to do some business, so please stay with me, okay? This year I was not able to release any new vinyl. One of the bands I'm in, Scudder, we put out a new CD, but no new vinyl releases. That should change next year. There's work underway for two vinyl releases, one by my punk rock band RAF, and the other is still, I don't want to jinx it. I've been talking about stuff and then it hasn't been happening the way I thought it would, so I don't want to jinx it. But I still have copies of these records on vinyl. I still have Murphy, maybe 9 copies left. It's on blue and green vinyl, and it's gotten better with age. I maybe have 50 copies of Flyover on splatter vinyl. This is my baby. And I've still got a few copies, some on yellow vinyl, some on black vinyl, of Nice. Everything's going for $15 a piece, and all new orders will also receive a download code, and here they are, a download code for my new album, Sketchbook, which I would love to release on vinyl eventually. I don't know what the possibilities are. But I also want to apologize on behalf of the U.S. Postal Service that overseas postal prices are so exorbitant. I have friends in India who have spoken to me recently who really want copies of my record, but they have to pay more for postage than for the record, and they can't afford it. I'm so sorry. I know this is the case when I send overseas in general. It really sucks, but it's out of my hands. So please, if you don't have these weren't just vanity releases. This is some good music, as I am told by owners of the records repeatedly. Something I played recently just after watching, because I like to watch documentaries. I still have my copy of Hand in Glove by the Smiths on Rough Trade. There are some real collectible versions of this. I don't have one of those. It doesn't matter that I do. But I bought this as soon as it came to Omaha. I knew about them. I've always read the British and European music press and NME sounds and all that. And so I caught wind of the Smiths before the imports arrived in Omaha. So when the very first copy of this record came to Omaha, I had a copy. This is still genius. Absolute genius. And yes, Johnny Marr and Morrissey knew what they were doing by going the homoerotic route with presenting the band. Very ambiguous. It's just always been there in rock music. And I don't know, it's a touchstone. I don't know how else to put it. It's just something, when I see it, I'm intrigued. Oftentimes in the past, great examples of David Bowie. Good music has been behind the glitter, or the image, as it were. Okay. Some other records I played recently. Hawk Lords, 25 years on. Yes, this cover still, I don't know what it's on about. But this is a really good Hawkwind family band album. This is really good. Psy Power, that's good. On my favorite label, Charisma. I only have a bootleg of this. This is Yellow Vinyl, Saucer Full of Secrets by Pink Floyd. This was my introduction to Pink Floyd. I heard Saucer Full of Secrets on underground FM radio as a teenager. I think I was 14 at the time. And they played the track, Saucer Full of Secrets. And you know how it starts off kind of spooky, like the music for a horror movie. And I was thoroughly intrigued. You know, this is long before I had done any kind of drugs, except tried to smoke pot when I was 11. But it just took my imagination right away. Really enjoyed this the other night. Another of my favorite songs by Pink Floyd is on here, Seesaw. Love that song. I can easily get into a mood for Porcupine Tree, and I hadn't recently. Gilbert Reyes out in California, who is also on here. Just saw Steven Wilson in concert. Yeah, I'm jealous, but he was posting it, and it got me in the mood. So I pulled out Fear of a Blank Planet. And this is the limited edition one. Only 1,000 of these with the booklet and all that stuff. I really like this album and played it all the way through. It's just something about the way Steve Wilson makes his music. It's addictive. Honeymoon Killers, a band that was led by Mark Hollander, who I first heard of through his band Aksak Mabul out of Belgium. And this is somewhere between post-punk new wave and almost there's a pastiche thing where it's like you hear cocktail music and certain aspects of jazz and other ethnic musics crop up on here. This is a really good album. Le Tour de la Lune de Mi, something about the moon. Josephine Wiggs Experience. She was the bass player in the Breeders. She had a duo called Dusty Trails. I saw her and met her when she was touring with Ultra Vivid Scene. This is her Josephine Wiggs Experience album, Bonbon Lifestyle, put out on the Beastie Boys label, Grand Royal. This album is, there are several tracks on here where they're doing these kind of instrumental jams or instrumental themes that kind of meander. And those to me are the low point. The high points on the album are the vocal tracks. There are a couple of tracks on here where they're kind of sneaky. It seems like not much is going on, and then she'll get to the chorus and then the melody comes alive. This is one that you can find for probably nothing, and some of you will be surprised how much you like it. This album is just one of the best electronic albums. Someone did ask me if I like techno. Again, when people ask me such questions, the answer is, well, watch more of my videos, because the answer is yes. And this is one of the godfathers of techno besides Kraftwerk and Jean-Jacques Perry, who just died, unfortunately, this weekend. I've got some of his music in my collection. But Hiromi Hosono, Philharmony, 1982. This is just killer electronic. Just one of my favorite albums. This is the bomb. This is killer Philharmony. Hiromi Hosono, the as opposed to maybe some people thinking Sakamoto was the brainchild of Yellow Magic Orchestra, it's Hosono. He's the godfather. Here's a compilation album I've had that at times I've thought about getting rid of, and I played it and I'm glad I kept it. Ears to the Grindstone. To the Grindstone. Minimal electronic, almost like stuff in the vein of orchestral moves in the dark, or even more minimal, early 80s, end of the 70s, early 80s, maybe the first Human League sounding stuff. Maybe some of you have heard of the band The Arms of Someone New on here, or Dave Prescott. Generally speaking, these names are not well known, but this was uneven, but enough of it is like, I'm glad I kept this. Overall, this is really pretty good. Speaking of Yellow Magic Orchestra, I had this out. Illustrated Musical Encyclopedia by Ryuichi Sakamoto. This is the one that has the extra 7-inch single with it. I just love Sakamoto's work and his piano playing and his sense of melody. Just one of my all-time favorites. Listen to some Conrad Schnitzler. I got to think about the Germans. Somehow what they do really resonates with me. But this is a project he did with some guys named Borngraber and Struber, Construct. There's a series of these. This is really good. Some people just really know how to manipulate sound with electronic equipment. And Conrad Schnitzler was amazing. Mirage, Now You See It. An album that is loosely associated with the Canterbury School of Musicians, I think possibly because of the guitarist Brian Godding, maybe some other people, George Kahn. This has a couple tracks that I don't like at all, but the ones that really work are excellent. They're like classic, timeless words. On side one is just classic progressive rock, jazz rock, whatever you want to call it. This comes out from the 70s, 1977. Fantastic. The songs on here that are good are fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, some of you folks who've been following me all weekend know that I play these because I post them on Facebook when I play them. This is a reissue of Forever Changes by Love. This is truly a classic and one of the best albums I've ever heard. It's just amazing. And again, Arthur Lee, black man, to me, it's like so many things have shown me how the way that reality has been presented to us is so false. One of the most amazing, lyrical, beautiful, psychedelic rock albums made of all time. The leader of the band is a black guy. Some of you know what I'm getting at. Here's another one where I don't know why it didn't happen, but it really should have. Wigwam, Tombstone Valentine, 1970. This came out in America. This is the American version on Verve Forecast. Even got a thumbs up from Lester Bangs. Notice what he says. In the tradition of Tommy, Bee Gees and Abbey Road. And I agree. Matter of fact, there's parts where you can hear, ooh, man, that's like the Bee Gees, the good Bee Gees. And then the other parts, it's like, this is very, very sprawling, ambitious, and good. possibly music associated with theater, but it's very progressive and kind of magical. I don't know what the title means, but I love this album. And it is primarily instrumental. They can really play, and it's imaginative. You know, you don't know what they're going to do next. I love records like that. Here's one from my Creation Records collection, which I keep. Another one that the reason why it's not like collectible is because it's uneven, but the parts that are really good are really good. Revolving Paint Dream. Mother, Watch Me Burn. The good parts of this are close to the sound of Jesus and Mary Chain, okay? This is a keeper. And the last thing I'll show is this heavy rock psychedelic band from recent years, Radio Moscow, Brain Cycles. This came out in 2009. It's taken me a while to really come around to it because I don't listen to this stuff much. I'd rather be playing it live, but this is good. It's wild, and it takes us back to like stuff like early Blue Cheer, Randy Holden, that sort of thing. Wailing guitars and bashing beats. So there you have it, folks. I'm going to sign up here pretty quick. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you don't have any of my records, and pick one up, pick one up. Cheers and kudos to everyone involved in the vinyl community. It belongs to all of us. There is no leader. Each one of us is a leader. And it's just wonderful. As you know, I will go stick my neck out on a limb and tell you personal things and things that I'm my opinion, which always gets under someone's dander, which is fine because it's just the way it is. So yeah, I'm voting tomorrow. I always vote. And do you want to know who I'm voting for? It hasn't been easy, but I will tell you, some people want to know, some others don't care, but I absolutely cannot vote for Donald Trump. And I will be the first to admit if he shows me wrong, if he ends up becoming president and does a good job, I'll be the first to give him credit. But nothing about his legacy and what he's doing and has done so far indicates that this is going to be the case. I already know way too much about Hillary Clinton, and not just what's in the news. I keep saying I know people who have personal connections with that woman and have for years, and I know way too much. And I know she's a corporate shill. She's bought and paid for, nothing will change under her regime. And if anything, the main thing she's wanting to do is to make history by being the first woman president. I'm not voting for either one of them. Gary Johnson has shown that he's not up to the job. He's not on point. So the only other person left who I have checked out, and the person appears to have some integrity, and what she says makes complete sense, so I'm voting for Jill Stein.